I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Welcome, Kathleen Scully, to this Divine Design podcast.
Thank you. Great to be here talking to you again.
Yeah, and this time it's only us. And we have lined up and spoken about the poles and the center point, the northern pole and the south pole. And actually, I think it's 3 years ago, our friend Solera said, you should talk to Kathleen. And I thought, I know I will. But the timing wasn't right 3 years ago. But now it's right. So it's like, yes. Because she knows that I live in kind of the Arctic and we hold some wisdom together.
And it's interesting because we had a conversation last week and that was really laying the groundwork, I think, for percolation to happen this week. So it'll be interesting to see where we go this week, what comes through.
Yeah. And can I invite you to share what happened for you in 2019? Because we spoke a little bit about what happened to you in 2019, visiting both the poles, the South Poles and the North Poles, and kind of coming to the 0 point. You didn't need to travel anymore. You kind of find balance in going to the South Pole and the North Pole, Antarctica and Arctic.
Yeah, that's right. It was, I had a trip planned with some friends in 2019 and probably a month or two before we were going away, an opportunity came up to go on an Arctic cruise for just 7 days. But it was too good to pass up. And I was in Europe at the time, going to be in Europe at the time. So it's like, so I did that. And that was phenomenal. That left from Svalbard, or I can't pronounce it, but in the higher Norway.
Svalbard, yeah.
Perfect. And so that was amazing. And we didn't get all the way to the North Pole, and I didn't get all the way to the South Pole, but they go as far as they can.
Yeah.
And so there was something. I mean, I love silence and spaciousness and beauty and clarity and all of those sorts of things, and it ticked all of those boxes.
Yeah.
And there was something really special about it, particularly going through the bresh ice, they call it, where the boat can actually, it's sort of there's ice, but the boat can move through it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find words. There's a divinity to the air, to the water, to just the presence of everything, But when I was there too, for me, I remember, I don't really keep a journal, but I remember it was like a big download of energy, just sort of like coming through from above, through my core, and kind of grounding, but coming in and coming through. And it was exquisite. It was just, there was no detail around it all. It was just pure, exquisite and powerful. So when I was there, and I was there with a friend, there were people on the boat who had been to Antarctica as well. And it's somewhere I always wanted to go. And my friend sort of said, we should go to Antarctica. And I was like, yes, we should. And then we sort of said, why don't we go? And so once that had kind of entered the consciousness, it was like I had to go. There was no question about whether I would go or not. It was like something I had to do, full stop.
Yeah.
So I ended up then going to, so in June 2019, I was up in the Arctic. And then in December 2019, I went to Antarctic, like that direction, and we went to, this 21 days, we went to Falkland Islands, South Georgia, and then Antarctica, and then back to Ushuaia in South America. And so it kind of spanned the December 2019, January 2020 period as well, which was quite significant, like
Yeah.
another decade
Yeah.
coming over. And there still was that I have to go, no ifs, buts, had to go. So, and there felt a significance to it as well. And I don't have all the detail of what all of that is. Antarctica was, I don't know, it just seems so different in a way to the Arctic. But there was a real sense I kept getting, seeing, the two poles. Fascinating, was doing the two poles. And when I was in Antarctica, I felt that energy that had come through in the Arctic come through. It was sort of the visual kind of like come through to the South Pole to kind of land. So it connected the two poles, I kind of got. So it was, I'm just trying to, so that was an experience beyond all experiences. The beauty, the pristineness, the divinity, it's beyond words, it's beyond expression. And it was fascinating because when I got back, I didn't really want to talk to anyone for a few weeks. It was just that silence. That silence was, the silence was in my cells. That pure silence was in my cells. But I had the sense that I wanted to go back that year, go back again, later in the year. I thought, I just got to go back. And then, of course, March, April, 2020 kind of hit. And but that sense was still there. And then after our lockdowns, I went with a friend to Mount Cook, which is in the South Island of New Zealand. And it's a really powerful, it's called Aoraki or Mount Cook. And I'd still had the strong sense of wanting to go to Antarctica again. And I took a helicopter flight up to the glacier, and it was walking on the glacier and went into an ice cave, and something happened. It's like it anchored the North Pole, the South Pole experience. It anchored it all, bang, and it was like, I don't need to travel again. And I've done loads of traveling in my life, and it was complete. Whatever needed to happen was complete. And once again, I don't have the detail. It was just this sense of completion. And then it was like, okay, I don't need to travel again. It's done. So it was quite a phenomenal experience. And for me, just with your imagery behind you too, is something about the balancing, the bringing the two together, the balancing of the North South Pole of the earth, if you like, but of me and of all of creation. And I think that's the experience that we're in now, which we were touching on the other day, which we'll go into more. Yeah.
Yeah, and as you say in Antarctica, it's like the land of silence, and you say everything. I just had everything, and it's like the freshness, the newness. So it is kind of the newness. If we see us, we are evolving as human. We are moving into the silence, the knowing, or the pristine, the before we created so much disharmony, kind of. So because the Arctic where I live, it's more the shamanic part. It's more the rituals and all the ancient history, but the Antarctica is more the symbol of the newness, the feminine, the heart, which is coming more and more and more.
And of creation. Me, Antarctica is as you say, the womb. It's like the birthplace of creation.
It's
And for me, it was like it, God, source creation, whatever you want to call it, kind of like going, I'm going to create the most magnificent thing that's possible to create. Here it is. And, you know, not only was it the visual of the land, the ice, the glaciers, the waters, the humpback whales, the penguins, the orcas, the, you know, just everything, you know, the skies, the light, all of that sort of thing. But what struck me was the silence, the beauty, exquisite beauty, but also the perfection. But it was also the perfect harmony and balance of everything. And it was like in the simplicity of it all. So, you know, land, water, ice, sky, whatever. It was simple, but beyond words as far as beauty and magic. But it was all in balance and harmony. It was just this beautiful balance and harmony. You just sort of think, and like you said, I think that's what we're coming back to.
Yeah.
And more people have been drawn to that.
Yeah.
More simple, uncomplicating their lives, you know.
Yeah.
And from that, then new can be born as well. You know, we rush around, busy, sort of type of thing, da 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 da. But when you stop and you slow down and whatever, then the new comes through, doesn't it? So there's something in that as well.
Yeah, and I have made a lot of resources, and one of the resources I was kind of guided to do myself. So I do a 33-day going into the new human, and I spoke to you last time we spoke about it. I didn't find the right words for describing this feeling, but now I have it, because after the conversation we had last night, it's like, okay, what can I call it? And it is the heart-centered symphony. So every day now I line up with heart-centered symphony, and it's like, this for me is the new holder, the feminine holder, heart-centered symphony. And I spoke to you and I said, I used the word ecstasy, but it wasn't, as I said, it is not ecstasy, but I don't find the word. But now it's like heart-centered symphony. And it's like, yes, of course. So the new way of living is heart-centered symphony. And this is the 0 point connecting the North Pole and the South Pole, Antarctica and Arctic, and the union of it all. The unification, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what that's beautiful. I love that heart-centered symphony, because I get the symphony and the musical references a lot, you know, like the song of creation, terminology like that. And yeah, there's a real magic to that. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. But yeah, heart-centered.
Yeah, and when I had a ceremony, I think it was in Mars, I was shown that Australia and New Zealand was kind of a heart. What if you see it as a triangle, it was like the Nordic country was more the solar plexus, the action, more the masculine, but the heart was kind of Austria and New Zealand, and now I line up with you, and it feels like, because when I spoke you it activated something in me. And the trip you did in 2019, my husband did the same trip in 2015. He went to Svalbard, the North Pole, and get some equipment and mechanics, and then he took the plane to Troll, the station in the Norway station on the Arctic, and worked there. And after he had done this trip, he said, I never need to travel anymore. I feel so content, the same as you. And he did this in January 2015. So he had the same experience as you. And it's like, okay, so it's like an integration, the 0 point. It's like, I don't need to travel anymore.
Isn't that's fascinating? That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something about the weaving of it all. And interesting that and you guys live, basically up in the Arctic region,
Yeah.
and I live in the south, sort of like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was coming. Oh, yes, I was going to mention before about New Zealand. I've always felt, in a number of people sort of say this, that, New Zealand is the land of the first light, pretty much. We see the first, the sun comes up,
Yeah.
first kind of here, outer islands. And I've always sort of felt New Zealand was the birthplace for the new, in a way, like whatever was going to birth was coming from here. I mean, I must admit the last few years I've kind of been wondering if that's the case. But I do still, if I go in deep, I still feel there's something to rise. There really is something to rise from the depths and ancient. And I think we talked last time about Lemuria.
Yeah.
Lemuria and Mu connections as well. And I'm just seeing, as we're talking too, I'm just being reminded that Antarctica years ago was tropical, it was rainforest, it was tropical. So there's something about, I just keep seeing that image to bring it into the conversation, like the changes, the cycles, the changes or whatever. And that's what creates all the CO2, it's the forest died down. So there's something about it all, everything coming back into this balance again, and something rising, kind of rising through. I feel kind of with what's happening within us and within the planet, like everything is coming into, as you said, a unification, a wholeness, a unification again. And like coming back to like a 0 point, but still going to, it's not like everything's going to cease to exist. It's like it's all coming back to its purity. It's all coming back to its purity. Yeah, I'm getting some lovely visuals and energy as we're talking about that. And that's what's happening for us. If we look at, so many people saying, myself included, it's like every life I've ever had, every existence, and I am all of creation as well. I can feel that in the field. It's all coming into a new balance, into a wholeness, into this new place. And so it's happening on the micro, the macro and the micro and macro kind of like levels. So it's something about all of that. And like your design behind you, it's all weaving, all of that is weaving into this. Yeah.
It can be kind of a symbol like the heart-centered symphony. So it is the 0 point and the balance point. It's the words that was downloaded, heart-centered symphony, and I think it's a good description of what we are living through. So every day I know line up. I think that's on day 10 or 11, and then I go into live heart-centered symphony to different words, to different situation, and remind myself. So I prime myself also. So it is also being conscious of what is the new and living more awake through the heart-centered symphony. And symphony, as you say also, you have used the word symphony. Yes, everything on earth is kind of, we want it to be in harmony and symphony and to resonance. And also, it is living in resonance.
Yes. Yeah. And so everything can be different, have its different flavor, and we're all a spark of the divine, but we're all a unique essence with a unique signature, a unique flavor, and but yeah, there's that resonance, that beautiful resonance. And yeah, I see it like this massive orchestra, and then everything is a different instrument playing a different note. And then when then you get that beautiful symphony when it's just all, playing together, just magically playing together. Yeah.
Yeah, and how can we as human play together like a symphony? Because we are brothers and sisters. I have said it, and a lot of us have said, why do we make war? Because we are brothers and sisters. So it is kind of an invitation for all of us to play in symphony, heart centered symphony, because we are all equal. There are no hierarchy anymore because we are going to synarchy. So we are now living synarchy. It's like we are resonancing, and we know that we are all brothers and sisters having this avatar on Mother Earth. So it is something with the pole, the masculine, the feminine. We need both of it. So we need it all. How can we weave it together like a heart-centered symphony?
Yeah, I love that. I must tune into that too, actually. Yeah.
And but it was so because when I spoke to you, being a time bender, it's like, okay, I know that I will go to the North Pole. I know that I will go to the South Pole, Antarctica and Arctic. But also through you and through my husband, I have felt the activation. I have seen it in you, and it's like it's a coding because you also said you have traveled to Egypt. You have traveled for many, many years. You have traveled all around the earth. But in 2019, you did the poll, and then it was kind of complete. So it is kind of the complete and the integration that is interesting because you don't have this, oh, I have to do. But no, I'm so content. I have it all. I'm in the heart centered symphony.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like and two, it was a real sense of urgency um to go to Antarctica. And now I think things are playing out differently. Now I think a lot of us, and obviously that period in 2020, we all had to be in one place, because we were all kept in one place. Um, so yeah, which I think kind of comes back to that. There's, I think we're maybe it's an integration phase or something that we're in,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Um,
And also, as you said, when we lined up last time, you said this is for you. So, and I felt the activation through you and through my husband. So, when we say, do we have to go to North Pole? Do we have to go to South Pole? No, we can activate each other. We carry codes within, and we can share the codes we have within.
yeah, 100%. And I think that that is happening more and more than what it used to, with the change in frequency, vibration, and all that sort of thing. I think that's something that's happening that maybe wasn't as possible, 10 years ago. And now it is like really just happening all the time, just walking down the street sort of
Yeah,
type of thing is happening. So it's been a really big shift in that. And just people in my life that I know who are doing amazing journeying, while sitting at home, in their lounge, sort of type of thing. And it's really amazing stuff, that they're doing, and it's very real. So yeah, the change in frequency and consciousness and all of those sorts of things is just, well, as we know, everything's sped up so much, hasn't it? And
yeah,
you might have kind of, you know, keep a diary or something and sort of like, 1 month, wow, that was amazing, such such happened, and then it's nothing much for a while. Now it's like sometimes it's the other day, about a month ago, I had 4 significant things in one day, that happened. And, where I just thought, one of them would have been significant in a 6 month period, like previously. But it was like 4 things in one day, and you just think, wow, yeah, it's completely different now.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced that also. So it's like Yeah, and also what I actually have started, and I said no, that I will not go into that, but now I have, just to see, okay, to understand it also, is the human design. I know that a lot of people have gone into the human design to understand themselves, and that I have the Divinity Reset to kind of help people. The more we know ourselves, then it's easier, because coming to the balance point, my journey to the balance point was to the dark night of the soul, and integrating everything. First this life, then past life, and going future, and then when we have kind of reset, then it's easy to travel in consciousness, and all the newness that is coming in, the heart-centered symphony, back to that. So yes, it is, and it's going so fast. And as I said, human design is one that a lot of people have gone into to see what is my shadow side, what is my yeah. It is a language and understanding in the human design. So I just gone into, and it's like, okay, what I take with me now in the beginning is the sacral response. It's like connecting to the divine design. My is like divine design. We are the heart-centered symphony. So through the heart-centered symphony, everything can come through us. So we respond through our divine design, not through the programmed mind, but as a vessel of divine flow. Have you gone into human design?
Yes, yeah. For me, I sense the field, like the whole field, and for me, I can sense everything in the field. So if I take my awareness, I'm way out cosmic. You could say that cosmic layers, the galactic layers, past lives, everything kind of exists, in the now. I can
Yeah.
kind of see it kind of like in the now. But for me, my journey started in 2004. I was sick for a number of years, and that's how I got into all of this sort of, all the alternative stuff. I had no idea about any of it before. I didn't know I could talk to my body, that my cells stored memories, all of these sorts of things. So
Yeah.
it was a long journey, and but for me, and it was hard. I mean, it was really hard. And but now there's a sense of, I sort of sense the field and the recalibration happening within the field. Like everything's alchemizing, coming back to that, balance, that wholeness, resolving, completing, or whatever you want to call it, all of these things happening. And sometimes, it gets stuck in me, like I feel in my body, or something comes up, or a health thing comes up, or emotion, or whatever. And then I know, okay, well, there's something here for me to look at, and go into. So yeah, I understand sort of what you're saying, and for me, I experience the human design. I mean, I years ago was sort of saying, I mean, I think we've got DNA that's outside of our bodies. That's not just in our bodies, it's outside of our bodies. And people thought I was nuts, And now they're saying we do have, etheric DNA. So I've had a sense of all this sort of stuff going on. So for me, my body is like my field,
Yeah.
but then I do at times get stuck in this body. I identify too much, if you like, with the structure, with the physical of the body.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing, and what I'm feeling is that the pure who we are really, the source point of who we are, or if you want to say that all of this is a hologram or an illusion or whatever you want to call it. For me, it's like the real, that purity is coming into this creation, into this hologram, into the story, if you like. So for me, if we were calling it a hologram story, or projection, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's like this that we've been living in is becoming real, and that's the sense that I have. And therefore, the structures are breaking down and we're starting to experience through our bodies, trying to put it into words, we're experiencing through our bodies the source, God, creation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Through our bodies. Yeah, so the human design is way more than what we thought it was. Yep.
Yeah, the human design was a portal opening, because human design, you go into yourself, because it's so easy to understand and see how other function, what their matrix is. But to see yourself is the hardest thing as human, because we are so into our matrix. We are the matrix, so it's harder to see ourselves. So through human design, you see your own matrix, so it becomes kind of a mirror. So for me, it's like a portal, and a lot of people have gone through that portal. And when you have gone through the portal of human design, then it's your divine design, and this is the heart-centered symphony. This is just simplifying. So it is kind of, for me, it is the next step. It's like we're living our divine design, the heart-centered symphony. And we're living from the integrational field. We are integrating ourselves also, not just because we have kind of for so many years, we have put ourselves outside every creation, kind of. We see as the observer, we have become the observer and the feel and the everything, and know ourselves in it, not just because it has been so, we have pointed finger, kind of, we haven't added ourselves, we haven't been integrated in everything that we see. So now it feels like we are more integrated.
Absolutely. And I know for me, I've spent a lot of time out there. I was aware that I was out there a lot. And now I'm here, and it's happening through me, within me.
Yeah.
I'm part of it, but in a different frequency band than I was before. Because before I was sort of like stuck in the trenches, like I was right in the hole, sort of like type of thing. It seemed like. So yes, 100%. And I've just been noticing, like, every week that it's been getting easier is the wrong word. It just feels more natural, every week being in that space feels more natural and more natural and more natural, And sometimes I have the visual of like, you have a whirlpool, you've got a beautiful ocean with a kind of little whirlpool, and everything is just being gently just pulled into that whirlpool to be balanced, alchemized, balanced, kind of like whatever, brought into the wholeness, so yeah, it's quite magical.
Yeah, it's quite magical. And also, what I listened to a podcast yesterday, and it was about autism, and also how much information and how much wisdom the autistic children also bring in. So it's kind of we have opened the Pandora's box in such a big way, because we in our brain has been so programmed, and this program have actually holded us in the old. So now when we open up and we know that all human, even if they are autistic or they are whatever diagnosed or label we put, come with deep wisdom, and maybe they have a solution for us, because we have been so restricted in our box.
100%. And I haven't completed them, but I started listening to the telepathy tapes, and a lot of people have been listening to them since beginning of the year, and that's all about, she was working with and interviewing autistic and the autistic kids, or yeah, a lot of kids and teenagers. And it was fascinating because I was listening to a talk today with David Clements, Dr. David Clements, and he was just talking about how everything is in motion, in the universe, but we have come into a 3D and we've made everything structure. So structure of the body, structure of the pen, sort of type of thing. Everything is the structure. But he said there is no structure. It's just what we have created.
Yes.
But in the telepathy tapes, she was talking to, they managed to set it up so they could start communicating with the kids, which had never been done before, so that was a breakthrough in itself. And this one boy, he didn't realize he had a body. He wasn't even aware that he had a body. To him, he was just energy. And so his mother would just sit and hold his a finger or hold his hand, and just different parts of his body for him to start to get a recognition, that he had an actual body, So yeah, these kids, and they're being accepted, now that there's a lot of people. I think it beat Joe Rogan or something in podcasts listened to, over Christmas or something. So there's a lot more awareness about a lot of things now. Really great. And rather than people being dismissive, there's an opening for different, something different thoughts, different ways of thinking, and I love that sort of stuff. I love listening to things that just sort of like not challenge me, but you think, oh, wow, that's interesting. And it's sort of like it opens another door and it opens another door and opens another door. And it dissolves another layer and dissolves another layer and dissolves another layer. And that's what I think is really sort of happening, isn't it? We're just dissolving all of these layers of that have been built up over eons of time to come back to the truth, the purity, the authenticity, just the isness of everything,
Yeah, I hear now the rainbow people. We are now kind of being the rainbow people or the rainbow consciousness. It's something with the rainbow. It's like the whole spectre. We are integrating the whole spectre. We are all, because we have the autistic, we have called, they are on the spectre, but all of us are on the spectre, because it's so the old is like, oh, they are on the spectre, but we are here. So it's integrating. All of us are on the spectre, and we are including everything. If we call it a spectre, it's like of the rainbow. We are all together integrating the rainbow.
Yeah.
And it's actually big to be alive. And I love the story because I haven't heard about the boy that didn't do I have a body. It's like, wow, what can we learn from them? Because then they are so pure in essence. It's like, wow, they haven't been programmed so much with this body, our limitation kind of also, even though it's also our instrument. But it's so fascinating what we can learn from this purity. So they have to learn to be in a body, and we have to learn to how can we think outside, beyond this box.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? And I just talking about that, I met someone years ago, and she did you watch the movie with Patrick Swayze, Ghost?
Yep.
It's and so he was experimenting, like moving a coin around, and then kind of put a hand through the wall and then kind of went through the wall. Well, she used to do that. She said she wasn't well, so she had a lot kind of like going on, and her mother verified it. Her mother was there kind of like with her, and she was in her 20s or 30s, and she said the way that they showed in the movie of him testing, putting his hand through, the finger through the wall and then the hand and then the body, she said whoever created that movie, whoever came up with that scene or whatever, said has experienced that, because she says that's exactly the way she experienced it, exactly the way she was playing with it, exactly experienced it. So, you hear these, things like that, and it just blows open other doorways, doesn't it? Within your consciousness and go, wow, okay, well, I wonder what else is possible. I wonder what's possible for me. I haven't been able to do that yet. I'll let you know when I do.
Yeah.
But it's so, our potential is, yeah, our potential, I think, is just mind blowing, as to what we are actually really capable of.
Yes, and when you say that, because I have been in a detox for 3 months, and the last couple of weeks, I have gotten a stamina or a power. It's like, but I have brought it into physicality. So I am on the mountain almost every day, and I run. And normally I don't run, but I have so much energy. And my daughter and her husband, we were in the highest mountain on this where we live, and I was ahead of them and tried to find the best route, and I run and I had so much energy, and this was for 7 hours hiking on the biggest mountains. And my daughter said, "What are you running on, mother?" But I have so much. So this detox, because I have said yes to become the new human and to experience it. And what I experience now, it's I have so much energy, and it's like I feel like I'm 20 years ago and have 20 year, and that I have so much freshness, like just want to run. So now what I experienced is the physicality of me is becoming more vital. So this is just one aspect, because I said, okay, what will happen to me when I go through this detox? So this is the first sign. It's like, wow, I have so much energy. I can run, I can dance, like woohoo. So, but so also to bring it physical, to have physical strength also is good.
Absolutely. And because I think, once again, it's like you've detoxed, you've let go of so much, whether it's chemical, whether it's programming, whatever it is, you've let go of so much. And so there's just this, just pure expression and pure energy. And they say, like Anna, Mother of Jesus, those books and whatever, we used to live hundreds of years, like it was, hundreds of years. And I know that, part of me knows that to be true. And we can regenerate ourselves, and,
Yeah.
all of, and I had an experience, not like you, but I had an experience once, and this was when I was really sick, and I was at the gym and on a treadmill, and I would just normally walk on the treadmill, and if I jogged, it would be for like 30 seconds, sort of type of thing. And anyway, this one day I hopped on it, and I was jogging for 15 minutes, and I got into this it was like perpetual energy in motion. It was amazing. And I had all these ideas. I felt like I needed a PA on each side of me to take notes of all these different ideas that were coming through.
Yeah, yeah,
Phenomenal, like
yeah,
phenomenal. And I had to stop because I had an appointment and I had to leave.
yeah.
I would love to experience that again. I would love to experience what you're experiencing. And maybe that's something, when you've come through the other side of it all, it's something you can share with us all, because it sounds amazing.
Yeah, and yesterday I go swimming every day. Yesterday when I swam, it's like, oh, I can do this for several hours. It's like I can go forever. So it's like and now, even though it's cold swimming, we never get hot water, ocean, but yeah, as you said, you experienced it for a period when you were on the treadmill, and I experienced it more and more. Like, okay, I can do this forever. It's like it is so much energy there. It's like you are in the zone, the heart center symphony. So the heart center symphony play out in when I swim, when I go in mountain. As I told you, I work shift in the health service now, and I work 13 hours and 15 hours. So 2 days ago I worked 15 hours, and it's almost all the day, but it is okay. So I feel that, okay, so now it's like I experience it through my physicality. What has this detox, and even though I'm not finished the detox, so I have still a month again, but I'm in the experiment, so I have said yes to embody it, integrate it, not just talking about it, and just not just traveling consciousness, because I love that one too, but bring it in the avatar, experiencing with it, being the experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, we're here with a physical body, so the physical body has to have something to do with it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people have kind of like negated it and negated that experience. And it's sort of like, well, we have it, so there's got to be something to it, you know. And I love the way that it is about physicalizing. It's about physicalizing everything, but for me, it's letting go of what I think that might look like. You know,
Yeah.
I have no idea what it means or what that could be or what that could look like. And that's the thing you kind of got to let go of. So when you have like, you know, running through the mountains for 7 hours, sort of like type of thing, but then if you sit down and have a cup of tea or go to bed, so is the energy there when you need it, but it's not like if you sit down, you kind of like, what do I do now? Are you able to settle when you stop?
Yeah. So it's like I activated myself. So when we will go to the Blue Man. Was the highest mountain, and we went, and I didn't go into it. We just planned to do it that day, and I had so much energy. So it comes when I need it, but when I was off it, it's like I'm sitting in the sofa and talking about it and watching all the picture, and it's like, so I'm not afterwards. I use the energy there and then back to balance, kind of.
Perfect. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yes, so,
That's fabulous.
but because I haven't other because when I said yes to go into this detox, and I have detox for a long process, okay, what will be in the other side? And the first now for me is the physicality. I haven't had any. I thought maybe I can travel more in consciousness. I see more or visual or yeah, I had some thoughts about it, but then I let it go. And what I experienced is the physicality. So the first thing that has happened to me is that the strength in my physicality, and I feel it in my bone structure that I have. It is like I have become more light, and becoming more light, it gives me more strength. Running, because I have said that running isn't for me because I have back injuries and I have been operated, but it's like my body wants to run. I feel like Forrest Gump. Running.
Yeah. And I've had that experience for 15 minutes, but that is it. So I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And me, because I've always been fascinated by energy, and that's to me perpetual energy, you know, and your experience is that perpetual energy, which is there when you need it, you know. So if you feel like, you know, your body or whatever wants to go running or wants to go swimming, it's there. And then, yeah, there's something. I have to explore that more. I'm loving that. It's been a dream of mine as well, that state. And it's energy, perpetual energy. It's the free energy, you know, for everything, you know, as well. But to experience it, to bring it through yourself first, I think is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and also what we started with the balance point, because as I said before we lined up now, I slept longer this night than normal, but I have been so active, so my body slept 2 more hours than regular. So it's like, okay, that's also okay. So it is like the balance. So I cannot only use a lot of energy. So I think everything comes back to balance.
Mm. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And I think when you're in that state of, I'll call it perpetual energy, you know, when you're Forrest Gumping, you know, like just able to do that, there has to be an absolute balance with that. It has to be. I mean, it is absolute balance to be in that state. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see also because when I was younger and when I worked night shift at my workplace, I think that was hard. And if I work night shift now, it's easy. So it is, yeah, the way I think and the way it's like if you bring this heart-centered symphony into all existence, it's kind of yeah the free energy. Nothing is hard kind of because you said that it has been a hard journey. It has been challenging, and for me also when I read through what everything I have gone through, because I have kind of I get rid of it. It's like I'm not my history anymore. So it's like but I remind myself, wow, it was hard. It has been a hard journey when I started going through the dark night of the soul and a lot of sickness, lot of pain body. But when we have gone through it and come to the heart-centered symphony, then it can, as you say, free energy. It feels like going on free energy.
And it's like that energy, it's like self-balancing and self-regulating. So
Yeah,
sometimes there is a stuckness and, you've got to go in and address it. Other times you can just sense something in the field, you sense something, you think, oh, okay. And then you can just see, okay, now it's just it's like just self-alchemizing, if you like, or the field is alchemizing itself. So there is a lot of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are becoming the field. So Heart Center Symphony, we are becoming the field. Not only a body, but we are the field. As you say, the DNA was outside. So we are the light body, the golden body, and the physical avatar. We are kind of integrating it all.
Yeah, and it's like you with your beautiful northern lights sort of up there. I have the image of like a rainbow. So the rainbow has distinct colors, the bands of colors, but then you have the northern lights, the aurora borealis or whatever, the northern light, and it's a blend. So the colors are there, but they're blending, and that's what I feel is happening to us, as you say, the physical self, the source self, all of these sort of cosmic self, all of these things, they're all blending, they're all communicating and supporting and blending and creating, that's sort of the imagery I kind of like. Yeah. And dancing like your lights behind you.
Yeah. And now outside my window, I have a lot of reindeers. I just have, because they have stand here all the time, and now I just and they have this big, what do we call it? What do you call it? The
Antlers.
yeah.
The antlers. Yeah. Oh, how fabulous. Reindeer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have so much of them. I love, and a lot of tourists are here, and they record them, but for us, they are in our garden, eating our flowers. So we are not so happy, but they are. Yeah, I communicate with them now, but for a period when I made a lot of flowers and beds and wanted to do it very nice outside, I wasn't so fond of them because they ate it all. But now I have made it okay, so now I communicate with them. So I wasn't integrated, but now they are a part of me, and they have. We can, I wasn't supposed to go into that, but we can learn so much also from the animal power, as we can do from autistic. So it is the integration from animals, from all living creature, all living. It's like, the symphony of all of us.
Yeah, yeah. And it's all coming in, isn't it? And, you might walk and you sort of say hello to a tree, sort of type of thing. And sometimes the tree goes, oh my God, thank you for saying hello to me, sort of type of thing. It's that everything is alive. Everything has a consciousness, sort of type of thing. And we are, it's just all coming into a beautiful weaving and communication. And that's a whole nother subject as well. But
so going into the Sword Path or Antarctica and Arctic and combining this actually lead us to this heart heart-centered symphony. So it's kind of the summary of what we have spoken about.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. And I just keep getting that beautiful imagery of the center point, if you like, which is everything in balance, harmony. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are all invited into it, and more of us have said yes to it.
Yes. Yep. 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 Yeah, it's been amazing sort of like conversation, the last couple of conversations. And it's like, as we've sort of like found out too, when you start a conversation, it's like all of these other elements want to come into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the trees. I had to mention the trees. It's like all of these things are tapping. Go, oh, I want to be part of that conversation too. But it's all a weaving.
Yeah.
Everything woven. And accepted. And I sort of did something today, just lined up with something Celera was sort of putting out to do at midday on a Monday, about just sort of like coming together with a collective to line up for the greater, for what wants to evolve, what wants to come through. And I was out and I pulled the car over and just stopped by the beach to do it. And it was amazing when I just went, okay, I'll just join up with a collective that's bringing through what wants to happen for the greater good of all, sort of type of thing, whatever the wording is. And I could sense the welcoming of that collective. And then when I was just sort of like standing there, and then I sort of like felt all this, and I'll call it lower vibrational energy, wanted to come up and be part of it. So the imagery was like all of this energy rose up from wherever it was to come up to be part of this higher frequency energy. And so it started to rise up, and then it started to be carried up as well, at the same time. It was a fascinating. So once again, it's that thing when we are open, like having a conversation, and there's an openness, it's like a vacuum. It's like all of these things want to come in and be part of it, and be part of the conversation or the creation or whatever. And that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So we have a topic, kind of the Arctic and the Atlantic, and want to weave it, and then as you say, tree comes in, and reindeers come in, and the cat started here when she wanted to be in, and I said, no, you have to go. So the weaving of everything, it is the integration.
Yep. It's all coming to that center point behind you when you move your head.
Yeah. And I will start to call this point the heart-centered symphony. And the symphony is kind of the infinity.
Yes, and I love that you've got parts in the infinity as well. You've got the heart.
Six heart. It could be more, but the heart, because heart-centered symphony. So I will use this heart-centered. That's what the words when I go into what is living as new homo luminous. It is heart-centered symphony. Yes. So what we have, we started to talk about the North Pole and the South Pole, but combining it is the new way of living and the heart-centered symphony.
Yeah. It's everything kind of coming together. And I think we might have touched on it, I don't know if we did this time, but how, the North Pole could be deemed to be more masculine and the South Pole more feminine, but it's all of that coming together. It's all of it coming together. There isn't the distinction of anything. And it's new creation, and from there the new creations are being created, and so that's what I see. I see it kind of all coming in, and then I see at some point, and it's sort of happening because there's a pulse that goes out, but at some point there's going to be like a out as well.
Living in synarchy. We're living in synarchy, not hierarchy. So we have moved from hierarchy to synarchy, living the synarchy wave.
Yep.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Kathleen. I love this conversation, and thank you for bringing an opening, holding the portal, and letting it flow through you and us.
My pleasure. It's been wonderful, wonderful talking. I can feel my whole body sort of buzzing at the moment. So maybe that wants to be perpetual energy as well. So I invite that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.